And I'm Joe.
And we're Jen and Joe on the go.
So, Jen, we have a special weekly update this week. We are reporting well, not live, but live-ish from...
We are at Port Orleans French Quarter in Walt Disney World.
Yay! So we thought we would just do a quick little update on what we have done and experienced this week while we've been here in the Disney bubble. The Disney bubble is what it is, as everyone knows. You either love it or you don't. And we're here and we do love it. But
we've noticed some things.
So I think
some things that we thought were very interesting.
Yes.
And we would love for you to comment with your similar, with the similar things that you might have noticed at your Disney resorts.
Yes.
Whether we had no idea there were such variances.
Yes, differences. I mean, some you'd expect, right? But each resort really is different. You obviously have the different themes.
The different levels, value, moderate,
yes,
deluxe.
Well, there's that. But just I was going to say the different themes because, like right now, French Quarter, it's a New Orleans-based theme. So everything is designed around that. Grand Floridian is a Victorian, old Floridian or Florida-type Victorian hotel. Contemporary is contemporary, et cetera, et cetera. But, like Jen said, the different levels will offer different amenities and services. So we wanted to comment on some of that. Why?
Because we just find them interesting and we want to know what you guys think. So for instance, the first thing we noticed, we stayed at the Grand Flow for the first couple nights of our trip, and you can turn the thermostat down to 65. That's as low as it'll go, but 65 is great.
Yes, it's pretty chilly.
Now when you get to French Quarter, the lowest you can turn down your thermostat is 68.
So now overall, it's not bad because it is a smaller room.
Yes.
And at night, for sleeping purposes, 68 is comfortable. But it is louder. The AC unit at French Quarter is louder overall in general. So if you want it cooler, you have to sleep in the bed that's closer to the AC unit.
Yes.
But then it's louder.
Yes.
So whereas at Grand Floridian, the room itself was cooler, the AC system was quieter. So there's that.
The other thing I noticed is at French Quarter, you have ceiling fans, whereas at Grand Floridian, you do not have ceiling fans.
So why didn't we turn the ceiling fan on yet?
I don't know.
I thought you said you didn't want to turn it on.
Because I read on Twitter that someone posted that a ceiling fan at French Quarter fell on a guest while they were sleeping. Yeah. Don't know if it has any merit, but that's what I read. Yeah, and I was like, maybe we shouldn't turn it on.
Yeah, maybe not. But anyway, if you do want it a little cooler, they do offer ceiling fans. So that would help a little bit. I don't like sleeping with the ceiling fan on because it bugs my eyes. But, anyway, so...
Something else that we noticed is at the Grand Flow, your bath towels are like supersized.
Yes.
They're huge, and at French Quarter, they're just, your regular standard towel that you struggle to wrap around your body once.
Yes, especially if you're kind of big like me. Well, I'm not that big, but my belly is. So there's that. That's fine. It is what it is. So towels are what they are. But sticking with the room itself, you do get daily room service at the Grand Floridian.
Yes.
They will come and clean your room.
Make your bed.
Replace the towels.
Empty your trash.
Do all the fun things. But also, in the evening.
They do turn-down services back. So they fluff your pillows and put them diagonally. I don't know what the reason is for that. They leave chocolates on your pillow. They give you brand new towels and take away all your dirty towels. They refresh your toiletries.
Yeah.
It's great. It's like you have your room cleaned twice.
Right. Yeah.
And speaking of cleaning your room, I love how at the Grand Floridian, there is a hamper that you can use for your dirty towels instead of throwing them in a corner of your bathroom.
Yeah.
Where that's what we have to do at French Quarter, just throw them in a pile somewhere. So I think that all Disney resorts should have a hamper. I think that is such a brilliant idea. And I know they had them at the Contemporary, and they took them away after the COVID reopening. So I would like to know if those are back as well. I would assume they are, and I know that they were at the Polynesian too. So I'd like to know if they brought back the hampers there.
Good question. Good question.
I just think that's so sanitary.
If anyone has stayed at Contemporary or Poly recently, let us know. Because I think they would, considering the level of the resort.
I would
but
think so.
It's a nice little feature. The mints are really nice. I think the pillows are just done for aesthetic purposes to make it look nicer, to make it seem like the room is cared for, which it has been. We didn't have to ask for anything there at all, I don't think, did we? I mean,
No.
It was quite lovely. So then outside of the room, the swimming pool itself is heated, or at French Quarter it is not.
They're supposed to be. All Disney Resort pools are supposed to be heated.
Well, then they probably kept the thermostat up at, or down to 65 for the pool, where at the Grand Flow you can go to 68.
Yeah.
They've got it reversed with the AC.
There you go.
I don't know. The Grand Floridian pool was warmer all the way through. This wasn't bad. It's so warm right now. It's in the 90s. So to get into the pool was not bad at all.
No.
But it was definitely cooler than Grand Floridian.
I will say, if you are planning a trip to the Grand Floridian, you may want to rethink it just because the construction is loud.
Yes.
If you are planning on spending time at the pool, you will hear the construction. It will interfere in your rest time.
Yes.
You can't hear it. We couldn't hear it in our room. We were in the Conch building, and if you have, your door closed, you will not hear the noise. But if you want to go down to the pool, or you want to sit outside and read a book on your balcony,
or take a nap after swimming,
right, you will hear the noise. We're at French Quarter. This is what you hear. It's so quiet and calm at this resort.
Yes.
I love that about French Quarter.
The noise you might hear in the background is
this beautiful fountain. That's the one thing I love about the way the French Quarter is designed. There's all these little courtyards, and there's usually a water feature in each one.
Yeah.
And it's just so serene. Mm-hmm. It's so calming.
Yes, it is. So yes, overall, it's very quiet. It's very peaceful. Our room overlooks the Sassagoula. It's a Riverview room.
Yes.
So, and we're in Building 7, which is the furthest from the main Sassagoula floats and eatery, where you know.
But even that, this is such a small resort that it's not a
no, it's not far.
Walk
but
at all.
There's less traffic around our area, so it's really, really quiet. The pool itself is nice, but they have music playing all the time, and it is kind of loud. So that part of it, even though Grand Floridian had the construction noise, this here has the music noise. Mm-hmm. So yesterday I tried to take a little bit of a nap, but it was kind of difficult with the music going. But still, it was fine. They do have seats a little further away from where the music is usually going, but anyway, so not bad. Really, really like everything about this resort so far. It's been quite lovely, but we don't get daily, cleaning service.
Yeah, and I do miss that.
Yeah.
And I will say, the housekeeping staff that is taking care of Building 7 has not. I should say who's ever on the phones has not been very polite when we've had to call for towels a couple times. Where like every single person we talked to at the Grand Floridian was exceptionally out of their way, charming, polite, sweet, what can I do for you, going out of their way.
Sorry, I'm distracted.
By the two...
the lizards over there on the fountain.
I
think they're fighting.
No, I don't think they're fighting.
I think they're fighting.
No.
You don't think they're fighting?
No.
What do you think they're doing, Jen?
I think they're on a date.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, sorry, I was distracted. Disney pornography. Anyway, so...
Oh, another thing we've noticed. So all of the quick service...
I just don't understand. I mean, the lizards. Okay, anyway. Quick service, yes. Yeah, this is what I was going to get to as well. This is interesting.
The quick service restaurants and quick service shops all have different items. So,
which is obvious, right?
Yes,
but this one...
Okay, so this is the big thing. Joe and I love vanilla flavored creamer, French vanilla creamer in our coffee, okay? We found it at the Polynesian upstairs in the gift shop, I think it's Moana something, Moana.
Yeah, the gift shop that's upstairs.
The gift shop that's upstairs next to Ohana. They had vanilla flavored
The smaller
creamer.
The smaller container, but they had it.
The Grand Plo did not have it, and French Quarter did not have
all right.
it.
So,
But that was interesting because you think, being under the Disney bubble, they may all carry it, but they don't.
I thought you were going to mention the tea. We do like the Gold Peak iced tea that they have, and they have the machines where you can actually select the tea. There's usually sweet, unsweetened, and green tea. However, although Grand Floridian had the green tea, Port Orleans does not. So you only have the sweet and unsweetened. And they don't have the green tea. Why would you only have the green tea at the Grand Floridian or at deluxe resorts? Is green tea that much of a deluxe item? So that was kind of interesting and weird. They used to have it here. They used to have the green tea everywhere.
This was the first place we found it at, to be honest with you, years and years ago.
So, I don't know. That's kind of interesting, kind of weird, but so no green tea here. So that's a difference.
So we wanted just to put together a video of the different things that we've noticed at the different resorts because, like I said earlier, you'd think that they would all carry the same items, but they really don't. I mean, they have a lot of similar items. A lot of them do carry the Mickey premium bars.
Right.
You know, they all have Coke products. But it's just so weird how each resort varies.
Right. And along that line, they do have the different treats. Like we just did a video here for that 50th raspberry cheesecake here at French Quarter.
That was good.
But at Grand Floridian,
at Gasparilla Island Grill,
yes, they had the orange bird cake. And we did a video on that. Oh my God. Yeah, it was a cake pop. So the orange bird cake pop, which was really, really good too.
So it seems like although they all have like the chocolate cupcake, each resort has different 50th treats.
Yeah.
Snacky sneakers.
Right. Yes. So, and then, you know, the rest of this week has been really nice. It's been hot. It's been very humid.
It's been really hot.
Like, it seems like it's hotter than normal for this time of year. Like, this feels like July and it's only May. So, but we've been pacing ourselves. We haven't been killing ourselves at the parks. We've been doing a little bit here, a little bit there, spending some time at the pool. So it has really been, for the most part, really nice. We've done a couple of dinners. Last night was Flying Fish. Really enjoyed that. So happy that's open. Had a lovely meal there.
We did. And Omar was a server. And we're going to do we have a whole video coming eventually of our dining experience at Flying Fish.
Yes. And we've spent time at the parks doing a lot of different little things. Yesterday was funny because we finished up at Flying Fish and thought, well, do you want to go to Hollywood Studios? It's going to rain. It's going to rain heavy.
And it did.
And it did, but we went anyway. And we ended up getting the ponchos and the flip-flops that are easier to deal with when they get wet. And the umbrella. We bought an umbrella. So we were actually okay, even though, you know, it was still a little wet walking from Mickey and Minnie to Toy Story Mania. But it was fun. It ended up being a fun evening. And it's supposed to rain again tonight, so we might go and do that again tonight.
And that is the nice thing about being an annual pass holder. We literally walked into Magic Kingdom one day just to get an ice cream treat.
Yeah.
That's all we did.
That Sunshine...
The Sunshine Tree Terrace.
Yeah. What was the name of the treat?
The treat was
the
Sparkling
Sunshine. Sorry. Yeah, we did that video too. If you haven't seen that video yet, just when you want to watch it, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that was, it's just nice to have the flexibility and those options to do those types of things because then you don't feel stressed. Speaking of stress, we're going to move on to this topic, which was just recently announced yesterday or the day before. I think it was 2 days ago. They made announcements about Genie Plus and what's going to happen starting June 8th with that.
So starting June 8th, you can no longer pre-book your Genie Plus. Like today, if I called Disney to book a vacation or had my beautiful TA do it for me, Ariane.
Hi, Ariane.
She cannot book those Genie Pluses ahead of time. You cannot do it until day of starting June 8th, which... So... I think it's
Okay,
First
hold
of
it
all,
before.
full disclosure first, Joe and I do not agree with anything Genie Plus.
Yes.
We
But
all know how we feel about it.
before you start complaining about it, let me just throw a little history about FastPass. Years ago, with FastPass, before Magic Bands, you had the
Look,
card.
there's Tim J.
Timmy's working here today.
He was deployed to our resort.
Yes, he's not happy.
And we can see him.
Yes, he's not happy. Anyway, June 15th cannot come soon enough. Anyway, that's when he can transfer. So years past, you had the card to actually get into the parks. It was to get your room key, everything was on the
Ticket
cards.
to the world.
With FastPass, you had to go to the kiosks, put the card into the machine, and get a ticket. So for a family of 6, I'd have to take all 6 cards,
Yes.
go to the kiosk, put it in, and then get a FastPass. And that all happened the day of.
And they would spit the tickets out to you, and you'd use your fast pass and go on to the next
It would give
one.
you a ticket with certain times.
Yes.
So now you know, between 12 and 1, I can go ride Thunder Mountain. All right, so you go, you bring them the ticket, and you're good. Then they reached a point where things became digital, electronic, and you could book all of this stuff ahead of time.
If you were a Disney Resort guest, you could book free fast passes for the park you were visiting 60 days in advance.
And everything was linked to your Magic Band. So you could actually set all of these things up before you even arrived. And then you would get there and you would use one. You still had the 2, but now you could book another one. So you always have 3 in line to go. And obviously as the day progressed, they would run out of fast passes. And, by 5 o'clock, you can't get on Space Mountain as an example, whatever. But it didn't matter because you did all that ahead of time. And if you didn't do it on MDE app, at that point, it possibly didn't even have the app set up for it when they first switched over. They had the kiosks. You'd go, boom, boom, boom. Or they had people walking around with iPads and you can talk to them
And it
there.
was included in your magical resort stay.
Yes.
So if you were not a Disney Resort stay, you got to book your fast passes 30 days in advance. But let's face
Or day
it,
of.
if you are a Disney Resort guest, you are paying more. It was just part of the magic of staying
Part of the
on
perk,
property.
right.
And we both loved it and took advantage of it every single trip.
Well,
We had
because
those 3 fast passes.
It wasn't
booked
even
ahead of time.
taking advantage of it. We were utilizing the service
right.
that Disney was offering.
Right.
All right, so now
then-
we get to Genie Plus. And
we all
you have
know
to-
how that works, so
and
we
it
don't have
worked,
to go over it.
Right, but it works similarly. You could book things in advance, but you had to pay for it.
So you can't even book it in advance. You can set up Genie Plus ahead of time and add it to your park day, and that's the part that's going away. So right now, I could have Genie Plus already set up for tomorrow, but tomorrow at 7 a.m. I have to wake up and book my first Genie Plus or my Lightning Lane, whatever I'm doing. So, but starting June 8th, you have to purchase it then. You can't have it as an add-on onto your ticket. You have to purchase it day up. So just like a virtual queue for Rise of the Resistance, everyone's on their phone at 7 a.m. going, oh my God. So now that's what everyone's going to be doing for Genie Plus.
And really what it comes down to me is that it's gone back to
backwards.
the kiosk,
Yes.
putting the card in,
Yes.
getting a ticket. It's just,
Yes.
it's all digital. And it's going to be linked to your Magic Band
and
instead.
I know it's all business, and we've discussed this before, but I think Disney is moving backwards. I don't see how anyone can think that this is a good thing.
Well, we've
I don't
actually
know.
talked to some people here this week
A
too.
lot of people are
Yeah.
very unhappy with
just-
this new
Just
system.
dissatisfied with the amount of work that goes into what you have
Your
to do here.
vacation.
Yeah.
Why
And-
should vacations have to be hard? You go on a vacation to get away from things, to relax, to have an easy time.
And
And Disney is
just-
just making it more difficult every
And so,
single
for the
day.
record, I just want to say, the reason we are upset about a lot of this stuff, you've heard us say these things, is not because we feel like, oh, it's a money grab, although we do.
I do.
But it is more than that, though. Peeling back the layers and looking at it, we understand what you have to do for all of this because we come a lot. If you are a guest that doesn't come very often, to try to coordinate all of this is very
You
confusing.
have to use a travel
You
agent.
have to.
Yeah.
So someone like Marianne who's able to do all of these things because she knows it so well and knows the ins and outs and can actually put an entire plan and itinerary together for you, I would say definitely
Definitely
use
a
that,
TA.
because the days of you doing it or a common, just a regular person who...
And you don't pay for it.
Right, no,
It's
for
a
the
free
TA you don't.
service.
Yeah. But I'm just saying that just for a common person who doesn't come here very often, who's not a fanatic like, a lot of Disney people are, they just, oh, my kids, they watch Disney Plus, they love the cartoons, whatever. Let's go to Disney World. And then what do? They start trying to plan all this. Get lost. There was, and I wish I would have talked to her a little more. We were on Pirates of the Caribbean, and we were in the last row. And we get, we do the drop, we're in the ride now. The woman right in front of us, turned around and said, "Are there any more drops?" I said, no, that was that. The rest of this is, but she had a little kid with her. So she made a comment about, I wish I would have known, but, because they're a little kid. So I wanted to ask her, is this your first time here? And what do you think of it? Just simply because there are people who don't come that often. It's your first time coming. What are your thoughts? What are your feelings about all of it? So ultimately, like I said, you want to make the experience easier and better for your guests, not harder and worse.
So here's my question, and maybe one of our TA friends, we have a lot of friends who are TAs, and definitely, seriously, if you are planning a Disney trip, utilize a TA. They are wonderful people who know what they're doing and can make your trip so much easier.
Yeah.
But now my question is, since you can't book starting June 8th, Genie Plus day of, does that mean that your travel agent obviously can't add that on for you anymore? Like, oh, I'm going September 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and I'd like to use Genie Plus the 4th and the 5th. So if you can't do that anymore, that's a part I would assume that a TA is not going to be able to reserve for you.
Probably not.
So they're losing commission on that.
Well, yeah, probably.
And and let me know if there's a TA watching. Let me know how that exactly is going to work.
Well, you could maybe ask Ariane, and then we could report back on that when we have a little more information. I'm thinking
that would be my thought, though.
I'm thinking the thought process for Disney is to even playing field for everybody. The day of, if you want it, you get up just like rope drop. All right, that's one of the other things. Thursday we did rope drop, which we never do, but Timmy wanted to go to Animal Kingdom, so we went and we were there at 6:45 and 7 o'clock to start letting everyone in. We all went to Flight of Passage. Flight of Passage at that point to get in line, go through the line and ride it was about 40 minutes total.
Yeah.
After that, we walked over to Navi River. 10 minutes, we were on that ride. So by 8 o'clock, we rode two rides.
But your extra magic hours for resort guests are only 30 minutes at every park in the morning.
But it was definitely advantageous to do it because Flight of Passage, as soon as we got off the ride, 7:30, the park opens to everybody. It was a 105-minute wait. So to get on the ride in 25 minutes and ride the ride and everything in like 35, 40 minutes total for everything, I don't know. To me, it makes sense to go and do that if that's something that you want to do. So rope drop is what you got to do. If you want to do the
it used to be an hour or two before the park.
Right, I get that.
Get so much done. Like you could wipe out most of Fantasyland.
Right, but
before everybody else came. But that was it was a perk of staying on site, and I think you should. If you're staying on site, you should have those perks. And it should not be an even playing field. If you're staying at the Holiday Inn on I-4.
Right. Then it goes back to you get what you pay for. So if you're staying at the deluxe resorts and you're paying more, you get the extra magic hours.
Yeah, but 30 minutes, again, it's
no, but I'm saying the deluxe, the extra couple of hours.
Okay, so that's the other thing.
That's the other thing.
So if you're staying at a deluxe resort, you can do extra magic hours. And I've only seen them at Epcot and Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
For 2 hours at park closing. So we were able to do the extra magic hours at Epcot from 9 to 11. Our first night here. But
Monday night,
before, when extra magic hours were open to value, moderate, and deluxe staying guests, I can't even tell you how many rides we were able to get done. And it would be 2 to 3 hours, and we would just walk on, walk on, walk on, walk off, walk on. It was great. Had we not started our extra magic hours during Harmonious, we would have only ridden 2 rides.
So we got lucky in that.
Very lucky.
When Harmonious was on, we walked over to Remy, and it was your idea because I said, let's do something else instead because Remy is still showing a 60-minute wait. Well, you said, no, let's go anyway. Well, we walked right on to Remy.
So the app said 60 minutes, and we walked on.
So
there was no line.
Here's the thing, going back to Genie Plus. if you don't want to do Genie Plus, you have to be more creative with how you're going to do the rides. So during the fireworks, ride a ride. Remy had no wait. We literally walked right on it. And as we were coming off the ride, I said, well, let's go do it again. We come out and Harmonious was over. That line stretched all the way to the front of where that extra, you know, the addition.
Stretched to the very front of the
addition of the France Pavilion. And it was a 75-minute wait at that point. So, yeah, everyone after Harmonious went straight to Remy.
So during extra magic hours, because I'm not even going to count Remy, because Remy technically happened right before magic hours started, we were able to ride Frozen and Test Track during extra magic hours, which again I think is absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I'm going to count Remy. No, we did 3 in the 2 hours. So the problem with Epcot though is that it's a bigger park, so it takes longer to walk from one to the next.
It does.
But anyway, with all of this said, there are ways you can get around doing the rides without Genie Plus.
Because we did find, and we timed a lot of the rides, the wait times in the app and MDE were off.
For the most part.
They were inflated.
There were some that were on.
Yes.
They were correct, but others were less.
Yeah.
There were never more. Like when we got onto Dinosaur, that ended up going up a bit right after we got in line.
Yes.
So that was accurate. But everything else was less, which was nice. I mean, Mickey and Minnie yesterday was less.
But
so
are they lazy and not changing the app because they just don't want to? Are they doing it to make it seem like all these ride wait times are longer than they should be, so people buy Genie Plus? Now, some of the wait times were accurate, but we did find quite a few that were not accurate.
That's a whole nother question for another day. I couldn't tell you. But overall, with all of this said, these are some of the things that we've talked about in the past.
And noticed this week.
Other things we've noticed this week, new things that we've noticed this week. But, you know, it's still Disney. We're still having an enjoyable time.
We're having the best time. These are things that we've noticed because we're trying to help you when you go on your magical Disney vacation, your magical trip. You know, if it's a once-in-a-lifetime trip where you don't go every year, you go every 5 years, we want to make it the best that we can for you.
Right.
We want to give you our advice from 50 plus years going to these parks religiously.
Does that mean we're old?
Yes, it does. But I mean, we know how it was and how it's changed.
My knees, my feet this trip. I don't know what is going on, but my feet this trip are really hurting. I don't know. The last thing I want to mention that, and again, we have other videos that we will be publishing, you know, on a lot of these things that we did this week. But we did Guardians of the Galaxy yesterday.
We did.
The preview for it. And Chicken over here actually went on it. So, yeah. So I'm not going to ruin anything here. I'm going to say I loved it. I'll say that at least. Yeah, videos are out there. You can see what the ride is like. I did some of it. You know, the queue. The queue is fantastic.
I've never watched Guardians. I'm not into Marvel. I have no idea who these characters are, except I know who Rocket Raccoon is in Groot.
Yeah, Groot.
I could appreciate the queue. It was
not
amazing.
only that, but just everything that they did for putting this ride together was spot on. Like, there's certain things you can say about certain rides. You might not like this, you might not like that, and this, you know, you were a little disoriented with it. You're not into the thrill rides, but if you like roller coasters, you could definitely do this because it wasn't anything horrible when it comes to roller coasters.
No,
but
there's no drops. There's no.
It just was a lot of fun. A lot of fun. I really dug it. I got off that ride and I had a big smile on my face. So that was probably the first time in a while that I had a smile that big.
And the only reason I wrote it was because I knew I would regret not doing it.
Yes, you would have.
And with the way they're going to be rolling out the way you can ride it, there's no way.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not waking up at 7 a.m. on my vacation to book a ride.
Again, if you want to do that, like we did with Animal Kingdom, that ended up being nice.
Right, no,
because
but we didn't
we didn't book a Genie Plus.
Right,
we just went to
Rope
Drop.
You're going to have to book a boarding group in that sense.
Right. I know. So anyway, there are ways around doing some of these things that you might want to do.
Guardians, you won't get on it though. That's going to be that. That's going to be that ride.
But
it's going to be impossible.
If you can get on it, do it. It was a lot of fun. I think they did a really good job with it.
Excellent job with it.
So All right, Jen, I'm a little warm.
So this was really, really, really windy and wordy and long.
Windy or long-winded?
Long-winded?
It's not windy. Currently, it's not windy at all. Currently it's quite nice.
There's no air moving.
Later, it'll be windy.
Yeah.
And rainy.
And stormy.
Yeah, so
But
anyway.
we just noticed some things. We would love for you to share your comments of different things that you've noticed in the resorts. Because we are always interested in learning new things.
Yeah.
The only resorts we have not stayed at are All-Star Sports, Caribbean Beach, and Boardwalk. So I would love to hear some of the things they offer to entice me to stay there in the future.
Boardwalk is one I've wanted to stay at for a while, but probably
I'm not going to
after
stay there until they refurb the rooms.
right? Yeah. I mean, but anyway. Oh, and then Grand Floridian has not been refurbed yet. The room we stayed in has not been refurbed yet, but it's Grand Floridian, so it was really nice, really lovely.
They told us it's going to be everything won't be done until August of 2023.
Yeah.
That's what CMs were telling us.
Right. So this year, next year, they'll work on each building.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to do the exterior of each building. Hopefully not, because you don't want that kind of noise. The one building they're working on, they're changing it to DVC.
It looked like they were doing something to the exterior because there was all the scaffolding up all around
that's what I'm saying.
thing.
On the DVC building that they're redoing or turning to DVC, they were doing exterior work. So with the refurb, I don't know if they will do any exterior work. So we'll see. Anyway,
but that was part of the refurb. That room,
yes,
right.
I know.
Right.
So I know. What I'm saying is that when they do refurbs for the other rooms, I don't know if they're going to need to do exterior work on the exterior of those buildings.
That'll be interesting to see.
Right. So.
But it's very loud. If you have a trip coming up at the Grand Flow, I would consider changing resorts. If you're planning on spending a lot of time at your resort relaxing, the Grand Flow right now is not the one to do that at.
Right. I agree.
It's loud, but French Quarter is nice and quiet.
So far, I mean, we've been sitting here a while now.
Yeah.
This video is getting long, and you see what's going on around us. I mean, it's the water that you hear. That's about it.
This is my favorite resort.
Oh, the water and the lizards.
Besides Wilderness Water.
The lizards are gone now. I think they're off having a cigarette. I'm not sure. All right, Jen, let's wrap this up. I need a drink.
So don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss any of the next Jen and Joe on the go action. Because if you do, you're going to miss these long-winded conversations that we're basically having with the camera.
Yeah, exactly. And that lizard there. That lizard's by himself. He's okay. He's just kind of chilling.
He is. He looks hot.
Well, you're baking in the sun.
Looks like he needs to go swimming.
Yeah, lizards are reptiles, though. They can modulate their heat.
That's true.
It's all good. I don't feel bad for the lizard. I feel bad for me sitting here. My drink is empty.
You think if I put my feet in that fountain, I would get yelled at?
I need to fill my drink.
Okay. Well, we actually have to get going because we have to get over to Hollywood Studios. It's almost 3 o'clock.
Almost 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
Holy cow. All right. Well,
all right.
I'm going to try to shoot some video later when it's raining. This is going to be our Hollywood Studios in the rain video. That'll be coming up later tonight. I guarantee it. All right.
Although I don't know, man, the sky looks...
No. I'm trusting the Weather Channel, the weather people. Yeah.
But thanks so much for watching. We really, 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 really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you as always. Keep tuning in. You don't want to miss any of the next Jen and Joe. The Go Action. Talk to you later. Bye.